not Allah. The father is not Allah. No, this is a name, a quality that you are giving. You want the person to be ever remembering Bismillah in the name of Allah. Everything you do, Bismillah. In the Bible, you have a prophet by the name of Joel. Joel. Jo means Jah, they say. It means Jehovah. Jehovah. El means God. He's God. Jehovah God. That's his name. Joel. And General Dayan, you know General Dayan of Israel? The one-eyed man? His daughter came here to South Africa. She was a journalist. And you know what's her name? Yael Dayan. Yael Dayan. That's her name. You know what Yael means? Oh God. Oh God. Yael means oh God. This is the name people give their children with the idea that they have this godly quality. Ever thinking, oh, Ya Allah, Ya Allah, Ya Allah, Wallah, Wallah, Wallah. But Yael is not oh God. She is not God. Her father didn't think when he gave the name, he says, this is my God. Or the mother says, this is my God. No, no. These are the names that you give to people that may they imbibe those qualities. Emmanuel. You must have that quality to be called Emmanuel. And you know what? This word, Emmanuel, is in the Quran. If I were to offer you 100 rands, you can't get it. Yaqari, you know? Emmanuel in Arabic form is in the Quran. Anybody know? You know? Emmanuel is in the Quran. Yes. Beautiful. Beautiful. I'm glad I didn't offer the 100 rands. It says in Surah Tawbah. Surah Tawbah, chapter 9, ayah number 40. This word Emmanuel, how it comes. Allah says, Is huma fil ghari, when they two were in the cave. The story is, Allah doesn't go into details. He doesn't go into stories. The Quran is not a once upon a time book telling you fairy tales. This is a concentrated book. It goes straight to the point, one verse, and see how much it tells you. Is huma fil ghari, when they were both in the cave, is the hijrah. Allah tells him, now it's time that you move from Makkah, go to Medina. So as soon as they leave Makkah, they say, look, if they keep on running, the people with faster horses or camels, they'll catch up and they'll kill them. So just outside Makkah, there is a cave, Ghar Thawr. So they went and spent 3 days there, 3 days and 3 nights in the cave, waiting for the chase to be over, to cool down before moving further. And in the cave, while they're there, the mushriks came to the mouth of the cave. They reached it, smelling it out, thinking, looking for footprints, and they came to the mouth of the cave, and if they only bent down, they could have seen them. So Hazrat Abu Bakr Siddiq, he says, Ya Rasulullah, they are on us. We are alone. Is huma fil ghari, when they two were in the cave, is yaqulu li sahibihi, he said to his companion, La tahzan, don't fear, fear not. Inna Allah ma'ana, Allah is with us. Inna, most certainly, most assuredly, verily, Allah is with us. Inna Allah ma'ana, Allah ma'ana, Allah ma'ana, al ma'ana, Emmanuel, God with us. This is the quality of the Prophet ﷺ. He didn't know that he was fulfilling prophecies of the book of Isaiah from the Old Testament. He doesn't know all that. That there's something written in the Bible. That is in the Old Testament and the New Testament. He knows nothing about it. Wallah, he knew nothing about it. This is what Allah makes him to say. Is huma fil ghari, is yaqulu li sahibihi, la tahzan, inna Allah ma'ana, Allah is with us. This is the quality of the man. In contrast, according to your book, according to your record, we are telling the Christian. Jesus Christ says God has deserted him. Ella, ella, lama sabachthani. Say, my God, why hast thou forsaken me? You let me down. Muhammad says, no, Allah is with us. To whom does this quality fit? To your Jesus? You are only claiming, you are thumb sucking. Here is an actual life experience, and this is not done, and afterwards, 1400 years ago, this is in the Quran, and the Prophet ﷺ, he knew nothing about the Bible. There was no Christian Bible in the 6th century, in Arabic. There was no Bible in the Arabic language in the 6th century. That's our Nabi could have seen, and he, can you imagine an Ummi going through the Bible and encyclopedia, and finding that word Emmanuel in the book of Isaiah, and finding that word again in the book of Matthew, and then he says, now look, let me also, I'm going to use that word, and he's waiting for the opportunity, and he got the opportunity in the cave and he used it. Can you imagine? Inna Allah ma'ana. I have a friend in Abu Dhabi. He's a doctor, urologist. His name is Abdul Munim Billah. Abdul Munim Billah. Billah is his surname. Abdul Munim Billah. Billah means with Allah. That's his father's name, Billah. Our friend in Algeria, the first person to become the president after the fight with the French, Ahmed bin Billah, first president or prime minister of Algeria, freeing themselves from the French. His name was Ahmed bin Billah. Ahmed, son, with Allah. No, what do you say? His father's name was Billah. With Allah. Was he Allah? Wherever he went around? No, this is the quality. We want the person to imbibe that quality, that he's thinking that Allah is ever with us, Allah is ever with us, ever conscious of his presence. Then, His Holiness the Pope, he says here, he said the council, the Roman Catholic Church, the council, has also called for the church to have a dialogue with the followers of the Prophet. To have a dialogue with the followers of the Prophet. We're going to have a dialogue with the Muslims. The word prophet here in his book, he writes in inverted commas. There's 2 commas, like 2 wings. The word prophet in inverted commas. Then on page 43, again, he uses that word prophet for our Nabi Karim Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam in inverted commas. So if we were having a dialogue, he says, Your Holiness, look, let us come to terms. Let us understand the terminology that we are using. When you use words, we want to know what you mean. Do we mean the same thing? When we talk about the Prophet, the Holy Prophet, we're talking about Muhammad Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam. But we write the word prophet, P-R-O-P-H-E-T, prophet. But you don't put inverted commas. So, Your Holiness, will you please explain why those inverted commas? You know what it means? You know what it means? Inverted commas, what do they mean? They mean that I don't say that. It's what people say. I'm only quoting. People say prophet, prophet, prophet. I use the word prophet. I don't believe that he's a prophet. Therefore, you put inverted commas. I say, His Holiness. If I put that in inverted commas, it means I don't say that. That's what people say. Inverted commas. That's what it means in English. Inverted commas. So I want to know, Your Holiness, you have used this word prophet twice in your book about Muhammad Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam, and both times you put the word in inverted commas. Will you please explain? Why did you put the word in inverted commas? In his language, in the Western languages, it means I'm quoting. That's what people say. I don't say that. So you do not accept him as a prophet. We accept your Jesus as one of the mightiest messengers of God. We believe in his miraculous birth. We believe in his many miracles, including those of giving life back to the dead by Allah's permission, and of healing those born blind and the lepers by Allah's permission. We believe in all that. As a prophet, a mighty messenger of God. And my Rasul Kareem, my prophet, you put him in inverted commas. Why? The meaning is you don't accept him. I want to know why. Oh, he said, you see, he has so many wives. He has so many wives. My Jesus had no wives. So I said, the number of wives disqualifies a person. in your sight, the number of wives, how many he had? 9 or 11? Okay. Disqualifies the man. I said, yes. But I said, you see, in your holy Bible, Solomon, the wise, he's got 700 wives and 300 concubines, 1,000 women at his disposal. 1,700 wives and 300 concubines, and he is called the son of God in the Bible. He's the son of God, Sulaiman alayhi salam, Solomon. That doesn't disqualify him. If 1,000 wives the man doesn't get disqualified, why should a man with 9 wives get disqualified? Huh? I mean, what kind of double standard is this? Oh, he performed no miracles. I said, look, the greatest miracle that he performed is the Quran. I said, no. I want something that man walks on the water, flying in the air like a bird, giving life back to the dead, making water into wine. Muhammad didn't do anything like that. There are some 300 miracles recorded about our Nabi, but the Muslims don't go into that. We say this is basic, come down to earth. Here, let's talk, man. Sense, reason, let's logic. Because I can't reproduce the miracle of Jesus turning water into wine and say, now believe. I turn this water into wine, drink it, and you taste it. Yeah, it tastes like wine. So now I tell you 1 + 1 + 1 is 1. Believe in that. I said, no, man, Mr. Deedat, there's got no connection. No connection between turning water into wine and 1 + 1 + 1. It's 3. It can never be 1. I said, no, can't you see what I can do? I said, nonsense. He didn't perform any miracles. But I said, you see, sir, in your book, in your Bible, Jesus Christ, he testifies about Yahya alayhi salam. They call him John the Baptist. Yahya alayhi salam. He says, Jesus says, among those born of women, everybody is born of woman. He's a human being. Among those born of women, there has not risen another greater than John the Baptist. The greatest of the Jewish prophets is John the Baptist, Yahya alayhi salam. And he performed no miracles, according to your book. Not one. So how can you disqualify Muhammad? See, but now this is the style that they go to. They want to have a dialogue. They want to have a dialogue with the followers of the Prophet. He says, come, let us talk. We want to have a dialogue. We have been advertising in the papers. That guy, when he responded to that advert of ours, that His Holiness the Pope has heeded the warning of the Quran. He has expunged the word, I said then 7 times, because that's I counted 7 times, but now I found one more. 8 times. In the letter I wrote to the press, I said 7 times. Actually now 8 times in that book. He expunges the word, begotten. So I said, now let us talk. Let us talk. So he wrote back, he said, you see, he didn't heed the warning of the Quran. Not because the Quran says don't talk like that. Stop it. That he stopped it. He has been using the New American Standard Version of the Bible. That's what he said. The Pope has been using the New American Standard Version of the Bible. And that was new to me. I have dozens of different Bibles, but I didn't have that. So I sent my man to the Bible house in Smith Street and purchased one, the New American Standard Version of the Bible. It cost me 13 rands. Cheap. 13 rands. I'll tell you, cheap. For an encyclopedia of 1,000 pages. Cheap. Compared to this 200-page book, 60 rands. Less 1 cent change. 59.99. 59.99. Compared to this, 1,000 pages at least, for 13 rands is cheap, good value. So, first thing I do, I look for John 3:16. And I find the word begotten there, still there. So I write back to the press. I said, you see, this guy is talking, what is truth? He's telling me that we are not speaking the truth, that the Pope has heeded the warning of the Quran. What is truth? Now I'm asking the question, who is speaking the truth? You tell me, it's in all in the newspapers. He said, this is what he got from the New American Standard Version. I said, now I find that the word is there. That means you lied. I don't say you lied, but I said, it's there. Now who is speaking the truth, you or me? That means it still stands, that he has heeded the Quranic warning. And I said, look, the Pope is talking about having dialogue. Talk, man, talk. So I said, look, I am prepared to arrange a meeting for Archbishop Napier in Durban. I said, in the King's Park, I'll get 40,000 people, Hindus, Muslims, Christians, and Jews to come and listen to you. 40,000 at my expense. And we